Hi everyone, it's Roger here for Disney Infinity and Beyond webcast number 31, and we are joined, by, as per usual, by Abe over there in Sully, California. Give us a wave, Abe.
It's raining today. Whoa,
Right.
watch out.
It's raining here in the UK as well, and also we have a note. We are joined once again by Travis over in New York City.
Yeah, okay, you guys got rain. I got ice and snow, so...
So we have got a great show this week for you. We're going to be talking about all of this week's news, including the hex discs that were sort of disappearing on the website. We've got some Infinity concept art. We're going to talk about Jasmine in the UK, DuckTales news, and also trying to go through some toy box improvements. Okay, so let's kick things off. You guys all had a good week?
Yeah, it's been good. It's been rainy for most of the week, which is great 'cause California's in the need of rain. So yeah, it's great.
Cool. And we got Travis Olaf there in the snow.
That's not Olaf. He's eating birthday cake.
He's eating birthday cake. So yeah, so and we can see that Travis has got Leonard Nimoy in the back there, and he's also got,
yeah, it's my tribute to Leonard. Yep.
what's that video game in the background?
DuckTales.
Is it? It's a bit. That's right. Oh, he's got Captain Hook. Right.
And Batman. Don't forget Batman.
Yeah, but he's not Disney. We're not allowed to talk about that.
Okay, sorry. You know what? Fine. Here.
There we go. Yeah, he's got there.
Oh, I just lost Leonard Nimoy. Oh well.
I have my guardian shrine. Ha.
Right. Okay. So this week's it's been, as per usual, we kind of a bit of a slow Infinity News week. We, as expected, we have got a few more characters to come out. We have got Falcon and also Loki, and they are due out. I think it's in the US. Is it the 26th? I think we were having this discussion yesterday.
24th.
24th.
Although it comes out tomorrow in GameStop, apparently.
Yeah, that was wasn't it? Yeah, I think that was an advert, wasn't it? That was a bit.
Typo. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we did check on the GameStop website, and it is still listed as the 24th. They're out in the UK a week on Friday. Just a quick note, just to say, Jasmine is out in the UK officially on Friday as well. So I just throw that out. I know it's been out in America for a week, and Germany's had it, and Spain's, and everyone's had it. But yeah, so that's another official new release. That's a bit late for everybody else. Okay, so in the middle of, we're just kind of coming to the end of 2.0 cycle. So we're kind of going to do a little bit of discussions and sort of brainstorming and a bit of just fantasy kind of stuff with things we want to see improved, and also a little bit of DuckTales talk today, since that was the big news of the week. So other than that, there was a couple of news stories that we put up on the Disney Infinity website. I'm just going to bring that one up on our DisKingdom website. So let's bring up this video of the thing here. The first one that was brought up was there was some reports coming through from the official Disney website that there were some empty spaces, these little hex spaces on the website. There was 9 spaces on the originals and 6 spaces on the Marvel side, of which point a little bit of speculation of, are these the 3.0 characters? And I mean, in all honesty, I just thought they were placeholder images. And when I did a little bit of counting up, actually, if you take all the crystal figures and had put them in that those spaces, they probably would have filled them up. And even JV had said that they have made mistakes in the past, but that's not a mistake that they've made for this. So I think it's more just a bit of an odd spacing issue. What do you guys think on that one?
Well, actually, we had a conversation. I mean, all three of us before. It is quite possible. Obviously, 3.0 is still speculation. We don't even know if 3.0 is real or if it's happening. And actually, Roger and I had the conversation a while ago that what if 2.0 isn't over yet? What if it's just maybe 2.5 or an expansion to 2.0 or whatever? So I think maybe those could be placeholder for maybe some figures that we can get in patched in or DLC. I don't know. That's my interpretation from that. What about you, Travis?
Well, I think we're done with actual characters for 2.0. They might continue into into the fall with 2.0. They might not officially announce 3.0 yet, but you're also looking at, you can have variants. I mean, Black Suit Spider-Man should be one of those hex discs. We also saw Gray Suit Baymax in footage, so he could be somewhere one of those hex discs. So I'm not necessarily ruling out that there's no characters for those discs, for those hex spaces, just not anything new.
No. I mean, personally, I'm just looking at that as it's just an odd way of sort of spacing it out. If they hadn't have put them in, it wouldn't have created this little bit of a furry. I think they've just not put on like the crystal figures, or they've not put on Sam and Cora, at which point you'd have lost all of those Disney ones. And as I said, I don't think Disney are going to be sort of putting out some hex discs of those little spaces to sort of show off something 6-8 months down the line. And also, let's be honest, we know they're going to have to do a lot more than what those spaces. 9 characters is not going to be enough Disney characters for we say 3.0, but it could be, Disney Infinity number 3 or continues or whatever they want to call it when it comes out.
Yeah, we're using, in general, guys, we're using 3.0, 4.0, 5.0 in our speculation, mainly because we're going by the yearly release schedule that has proven, what they're going to be doing or what they have been doing. And 3.0, 4.0, 5.0, it's just placeholders at this point for what we think. There's no guarantee that 3.0 is even coming yet. So.
No. Okay, so that was that story. They also had, let me just bring that one up. So the other big sort of news, we had some concept art come through, and I'm going to bring up the screen here for people watching on the YouTube version. This was quite interesting. You can find all the images on DisKingdom.com, and I think it looks. Did you guys see these concept art?
Yeah,
they were put out by Sam Nelson. He kind of got authorization to put them up. Hulk just looks. I mean, this one here. I mean, this doesn't even look remotely like the Hulk.
Yeah,
aren't these the ones that you unlock when you play the game, though?
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do unlock some of these things. Yeah.
Yeah, for all the podcast listeners, it's just a bunch of interesting concept art with Hulk and also Mickey. But obviously, the one on the very far right with Mickey is very familiar.
Yeah.
And then some of Anna, which is pretty cool. I'm sure you can see most of this, obviously, in the game.
And there's also
a bunch of other ones.
Yeah, we've got a load of cars, and it's quite funny, like looking here at like Iron Man, of how different it looked. But also, I think what was quite interesting was him talking about how I think they had quite a bit of an uphill struggle with Marvel at the beginning, just to they said sort of when they were trying to pitch it to Marvel that they wanted it to have their style, but they wanted to keep it kind of to how they wanted, and there was a bit of negotiation to kind of get it to look right.
No, yeah, I think
they made hint of that at the New York Comic Con panel. They made hint of that the Marvel pitch was crucial, and they had to get it right, and that's why Marvel was so involved with the design, and not just the design, like Brian Michael Bendis was brought in for the storyline, and Joe Quesada was involved in almost every decision on the Marvel side. So Marvel wanted definitely have an input in it, and so they were able to meld Disney Infinity's style with what Marvel had envisioned for the characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say it has a nice, just balanced blend between the Marvel look and obviously the Disney Infinity-ified look that we have for all the characters. It's the toy look. It looks really cool.
I mean, carry on, Jarvis.
I'm sorry. Did you guys? It was probably a couple months ago, maybe, but they mentioned how the new Venom that's being in comic books and stuff is actually based off of the Disney Infinity Venom, the design.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
it was on one of our. Yeah, it was on one of our earlier webcasts. We definitely brought that up.
Yeah. It's. I was going to
But I
say,
was gonna say, yeah, that's definitely crucial too, though. Like just the looks in general are really cool. To the fact that they're inspiring, like you said, comic books and also inspiring producers to pitch stories for movies. So,
yeah.
go ahead, Trevor.
I
Roger.
think one of the big things here to take to me has been the level of control I think Marvel has as a almost like a separate. It's still sort of a separate entity that you didn't get with like. I don't think you'll get the same with Star Wars, where Marvel is still its own sort of separate company within Disney, and they've got to get permission and they've got to sign off as a. I don't think like Star Wars is going to be as bad for signing stuff off. I think we're going to have a lot more conglomeration when that eventually comes in. But I think that kind of signs off on why Marvel and Disney have been kept so far apart because of Marvel's control over their characters. I think as part of their condition was they never really ever marketed the two characters ever on screen, or it was one of those things we always noticed right from the word go. You never saw them on an official picture or a video ever together.
Yeah, I think because Star Wars has been part of Disney lore since early on with Star Tours and Star Wars weekends, and so they've been part of the Disney property per se years before Disney actually owned them. I think you're right. I think there's going to be a lot more leeway as far as how they bring Star Wars to the table rather than Marvel. Because Marvel has always been guarded, and rightfully so, with their product. So.
Yeah, I think that's one thing. Okay, so let's move on to kind of the next big story that kind of broke really, and it's kind of Disney Infinity related. It was DuckTales was announced by Disney as it's returning as a rebooted cartoon in 2017. Which prompted Travis to write up a cool article on DisKingdom.com with basically a blue skies idea of what he'd like to see included in the game. So that was the first thing. Me and Travis, we had a few conversations about this, and the minute I saw it, I just instantly went, well, we're not going to get anything Disney DuckTales related in the next game because of this. What do you guys think of the news? I'm going to throw over to Travis first.
I'll throw over to me, yeah. It's definitely early on. My friend, one of my friends is an agent out in L.A., as she's a voice casting agent. She says the show hasn't even been voice casted yet, so this is far out. And again, we don't know the reboot. We don't know how like the original it will be. Is it going to be just characters? Are the characters going to be redesigned in some way? Is it going to be more of a 3D animation, 2D animation? We really don't know anything. All we just know that DuckTales is coming in 2017. So the fact that none of it is really going, even known right now, like I wouldn't expect it for the next version of Disney Infinity. I'm thinking more of the version that's going to be out in 2016, 2017.
Maybe even the year after.
Maybe even a year after. You never know. So.
Okay, Abe?
I actually have a different viewpoint. I honestly think they can. The same reason why we feel like we haven't gotten a Darkwing Duck figure, even though a lot of people have requested it. It's been one of the popular ones. Because it's not really relevant to the new market. I think that's obviously why we are only getting Power Disc, just to appease fans. I kind of feel like because DuckTales is in our future, they can slowly start to trickle in a few things, even from the classics, up until the point where they can go full-out figure, once the actual cartoon does come out, if they, in fact, go that far. But, it's great. Definitely, like you guys said, we probably won't see something significant for a while, but I still think we'll see little things trickle in because of the fact that they're in our future. So that's just my viewpoint on that. But other than that, it's freaking awesome because it's DuckTales. DuckTales is awesome.
See, I'm more of a Chip and Dale Rescue Ranger fan, and they're turning that into a live-action movie. So I was always on the other. I do remember having the game on the NES now, so that's kind of. I really hope if they did have Scrooge in there, he's got to have the pogo stick movement.
No, Scrooge does not need his pogo stick moves. No.
They've got to do that as a special move.
No.
Okay, this whole thing is going to turn into whether Scrooge should have a pogo stick or not. I think he should have a coin attack where he just throws, or actually money bags. Like he just whips out a money bag out of his pocket and just whacks somebody over the head. That would be amazing.
His cane needs to be a boomerang cane.
Yeah, that would be cool. I like that idea.
But yeah, I mean, Travis put up a few things there about what he thought might be in it, such as playset layouts, extra characters. It's really it's like really hard to know like where they're going to take Disney Infinity in the future. I mean, you know, Travis sort of went into power discs and play sets and stuff.
Oh yeah, I went all crazy on it.
But at the same time, you could literally just get a Scrooge McDuck toy box figure. So there's kind of, they could go either way. But I think it's one of those things. It'll be interesting to see where they take it in the future. Because not being funny, but if they're looking at 2017 for launch, it's a few years, so they've plenty got time to get things together.
There's absolutely no way you can have a Scrooge McDuck playset piece or figure or whatever without Launchpad. You can't. It's not possible.
That's why I liked my my Blue Sky, and I'm not just toting it because it's my Blue Sky, but I decided that you need to break the wall down and officially bring Darkwing into the fold.
Yes.
Because it's the same universe.
Absolutely. Preach on, Travis.
There we go. Yeah. Oh,
Gizmo Duck too. Oh, awesome.
Yeah, it's like my characters were Scrooge, Launchpad. You bring in Donald Duck from 2.0. Then you have Gizmo Duck, and then you finish it off with Darkwing.
Yes.
And you can bring in villains. I mean, one of the areas that I had him the characters visit in their fight is Saint Canard, and fight Negaduck.
That's awesome.
I went all out. I mean, the main villain I have here is the Murloc from the movie, which is one of my favorite Disney animated movies, even though it's not an official Disney animated movie.
Right.
But it has element. You guys should really. I can't really go into all the details of it because it would take up like an hour, probably. But I have team up discs, costume discs. I mean, Abe, how great would it be if you had Darkwing Duck and then a Negaduck costume disc? So you and your friend, you and I, let's say, could play in the toy box and be Darkwing Duck versus Negaduck.
Oh, it's awesome. It's something that honestly, even before the announcement of them, rebooting the whole DuckTales thing, we've been asking for it. All the fans, when they poll everybody what figures to go on, Darkwing Duck has always been huge. Obviously, I mean, the costume change this is easy, like you were saying, just to have villain versus hero. I mean, come on, it's Darkwing Duck, but it's the same universe and. Scrooge, I mean, is awesome. You don't necessarily have to have, Huey, Dewey, and Louie. You can have them as a team-up disc if you wanted to, but...
Yeah, I have them as a team-up disc.
So it's like, and Launchpad, man, come on. He's one of my favorites from the whole series, so... no, it makes sense. I mean, take a look at also, the article that Travis put up. Obviously, everything's Blue Sky. This is all... Nothing confirmed, people. Just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, total conjecture. This is my fantasy, guys. Like, there's not many times where I go all fanboy, and I went all fanboy.
Yes, we're not quoting JV or anything here. This is all us, all assumption.
Yeah, so, and my it's like I said, I'm there going, it's still 2-3 years away yet. So we've got. This is in the same territory to me as like saying Captain Marvel, Black Panther. You've got movies of them coming out later, so we'll see them when those movies hit. And I think DuckTales will probably slide into that exact same thing. They're just not. They might have the odd nod, but they're just gonna. They don't need to. They don't need to do it now. I know everyone wants it now, but.
What we're gonna say is we're already getting hints of big hints is obviously Captain Marvel. She was. An NPC in the game, and obviously you also have this, this power disc that's still unheard of as to if it's ever coming out or not. But the fact is, they can still hint this stuff. And
Yeah.
and if you look at the game now, we already have, obviously, the Scrooge Bank in there. We have, even though they're townspeople, I think we have Beagle Boys, right?
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
Beagle Boys townspeople.
And then you also have a Paradis with Scrooge's Lucky Dime. I mean, we have stuff already. It's just they can keep trickling it in. So
yeah. But also, I thought with the Captain Marvel side of things, it's also a great way of introducing the character for a drip feed. So when the movie comes out, people go, "Oh, I know what that is." Whereas at the minute, then I go, "I don't know who Captain Marvel is," but then in a few years' time, you go, "Oh, they've been around for years. I've not, this puts them on the radar for a power disc or something like that." But yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, I have a little cousin who's 5 who now knows who Gus is because she was wondering, "Oh, look, this is a cool little donkey," and then lo and behold, somebody pulls out a DVD and shows them this is Gus, and it's a freaking
Gus.
donkey who kicks field goals.
That was the most stupid power disc of all. That it was useless.
Gus,
it's so slow.
Condor Man, even Bedknobs and Broomsticks. I had friends that I grew up on Bedknobs and Broomsticks.
Oh, me too.
I had friends that had no idea what it was until the Flying Bed came out, and then they're like, "Well, what's this?" And I'm like, "You need to watch it," and they watched it, and it was great because it was the combination of animation and live action. But at the same time, it's not an official Disney animated movie, so they had no idea what it existed. So
yeah.
Oh, there's so many of those movies from that era that that you see or you haven't seen or things like that. I mean,
and that's what I like about Disney Infinity is in general, Disney has such a backlog of characters and options. They don't need to go outside their own universe. Yeah, okay, they're bringing in Marvel and Star Wars. They own Marvel and Star Wars.
You mean they're not going to bring in a little plumber?
No. They're not going to bring in the little plumber. They're not going to bring in Clark Kent. They don't need to. People, unfortunately we have people that are constantly saying, well, Harry Potter, or it's just the amount of things that they want in Disney Infinity. I'm like, look, they have give me a Peach Dragon. That's the live action one coming out soon. They're remaking it. Give me an Elliot.
I was going to say, if they really want a little plumber, you already have Mickey, you already have Donald. Once Goofy's here, we have the whole team, because there's still these symphonies where they play plumbers anyway, so we're set.
There you go.
We're set, right?
You can give me the 3 Caballeros. Give me Paul Bunyan.
Oh, that'd be cool too.
Right. Okay.
I'm sorry.
It makes sense. There's just so much in the catalog, even of things that are old that aren't as relevant to the current crowd, and obviously they can just bring it back, just like everybody, just like they're doing with all their Disney classics. They're making live animated movies, it's making them relevant all over again. So it's like, even if let's say a little kid watched Maleficent, they watched that movie for the first time, they're going to want to know where that came from, and boom, then they watch Sleeping Beauty, the animated feature. So it's like,
a bit like me. That's what happened to me.
Oh, really? Well, there you go. Even the older crowd.
me and my wife, we brought the Sleeping Beauty after we saw Maleficent. We were watching it going, have we ever seen this? I never remember seeing this. And my wife was going, no, I don't think I've ever seen it either. And we're going, oh, it's a bit different to the Maleficent movie. It's quite funny, if you get caught up in that thing, you're looking at it going, well, Maleficent's is a lot worse in this than she is in the movie.
Yeah,
I watched Brother Bear today.
I've never seen that.
I have it on Blu-ray, and I haven't watched it on Blu-ray yet, so I watched it. My brother comments that he's never seen it before, and I was almost pounding my head on the wall.
I've never seen it.
I'm astounded.
I love Brother Bear. In fact, if you know of all the little hidden messages that they leave, like at the very bottom of the credits, they even tell you that there was no salmon harmed in the filming of Brother Bear. It was kind of funny. So, and
Did you see the
things like that.
Did you see the end scene? I just saw it for the first time today.
Oh really? No, that's awesome. I love it. I always stay at the end of the credits now, so because
the end scene for Brother Bear is great. Coda comes up and goes, no fish are harmed in this production, and then a fish gets harmed behind him.
Yeah, exactly.
But again, that's another Disney property that has yet to be touched by Disney Infinity.
I think the thing is they're always focused primarily on the newer stuff, and they can shoehorn in older things here and there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I always think I never really think of Brother Bear was kind of one of those movies that sort of slipped through the net. It wasn't. I don't even remember it being barely even promoted here in the UK. It did seem to be a bit of a.
There's a lot of great films that just slipped through the cracks, and like for example, while Atlantis was being heavily marketed and everything, one that slipped through the cracks was Emperor's New Groove, and I can watch that movie like over and over again because it's just so funny.
Oh, it's wild.
Yeah, it's just great. I mean, everybody has their favorite movie that I honestly think may have slipped through the cracks of all the other popular ones. So.
Roger, getting back to Brother Bear, it's a Native American folklore. It's based off a Native American folklore tale. So it might have not been international. That, and it doesn't really have a marketing. It's a great movie, but beyond the two main characters being plush animals or character meet and greets, it really doesn't have a lot of marketing potential as far as toys.
I don't even remember seeing anything on it based in parks. You know, it didn't seem to be. You know, there's some movies that don't even get any attention at the parks.
No, they had in California Adventure, they have this like Red Creek Trail, and they actually had a place where kids could put their hand on this rock formation, and a bear paw would appear off of their hand. So like, but then that got replaced when Up came out. So now they have like.
Well, don't they? Kenai and Coda, don't they still have somewhere one of the breakfasts over there? They're part of one of the character breakfasts?
Oh yeah, they come out in character breakfast, and also Critter Country. You'll see them sometimes, but they're as rare. They're pretty rare now. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, they still exist.
Oh, they're around. They're around. They're just not. They don't have a major presence. I mean, but yeah.
But getting back to DuckTales, people were like Darkwing Duck, Darkwing Duck, Darkwing Duck, and I was telling you guys that. You know what we were saying? How it's not really relevant. This makes everything relevant now. So I am more positive about stuff like this showing up in Disney Infinity now that there's something prominent to bring it back to.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. No, there's so many great villains there you can use. So yeah.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So I'm going to quickly just run through this week's top 5 toy boxes. So they were the Aladdin theme this week. You had A Friend Like Me by Diz Explorer, Diamond in the Rough by CC Runner 524, Aladdin The Ends of the Earth by Enrim, Genie Hijinks by Vesuri 83, and Aladdin Chronicles by Eridad 3. You guys get to play any of these?
Oh, what? Again? Sorry.
Did you guys get to play any of these?
No, I did not.
I didn't play through most of them. I actually downloaded them and just took a quick look because I was on my way out. But there's a lot of box art on a lot of these that I noticed. I don't know. Did you?
There's a general kind of thing, I think, with box art that is kind of a very big favorite thing of sort of Disney is when they see box art, they really does kind of stand out as something that they do seem to love to include.
I noticed that too. It's getting a little repetitive, to be honest with you.
But I do know I've played through about 2 or 3 of the boxes so far while making videos and stuff for the. There's been some really good ones. I mean, I was playing through. I think which one was it? It was. I'm just trying to think which. It was a 2D scroller, and it worked really well. I mean, the level of detail in it was really cool. Until I hit an invisible wall and couldn't go any further, which was really annoying. But there was some really good. I know there's a lot of toy box artists making toy boxes for the Aladdin theme. It was really popular, and it was a really heavily. There was a lot of competition. There was a lot of competition this week, and you know they probably could have done a top 10, top 15. There was that many good toy boxes. Okay, so right, so I think that pretty much rounds up the news portion of what we were going to be talking about today. Anything else you guys want to add before we go on to our featured topic? Nope, silence. Tumbleweed's going across the US at the minute.
Trying to think of. I'm still thinking about Darkwing Duck, to be honest with you.
You know,
Travis,
it's
I
yeah.
don't know why I'm blanking here. What's the villain that looks like a dog, but he's like water?
Aqua, no. Aquadoodle?
Labradoodle.
It's gonna kill me now until I figure that out.
I'll
He
get
would
it, I'll
be
get
awesome.
it. Hold
Okay.
on.
We got some.
And is there also Electrode? Also, is it?
I think you're getting.
Electromouse. No,
Yeah.
I just think you're getting mixed up with Spider-Man. You got Aquaman and Electro.
No,
Well, no,
there's
no,
the
these are
Fearsome
actual
Five,
villains.
and Megavolt was the electric rat.
Megavolt, that's the one I'm talking about. Megavolt, and then obviously the water one. Which one is it? Whirlpool or
Liquidator.
Liquidator. Gee, I wasn't even close. Those would be awesome too.
The Fearsome Five was Bushroot, Megavolt, Negaduck, Liquidator, and Quackerjack.
Quackerjack.
Now, I remember playing Darkwing Duck on the old black and white Game Boy, and Megaroot was awesome. He was so fun to play against.
Bushroot
so, again,
or Negaduck?
Yeah, no, Bushroot. He was fun.
You said Negaroot.
I did?
Yes.
All right. Well, both of them, awesome.
See, I just remember. Do you know what? Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers on the NES was like the very first game I ever bought myself. That wasn't. I remember that game was, that was at the time when it was like £45. So it was the fact that I'm going back now like 25 years. The game that was the same cost of a brand new game now. It must have been about the price of a car back then.
Jeez.
You think of like how much those NES games were, compared to like now.
Yeah, inflation. That's amazing.
Right. Okay. So the
the
main thing we put out a question on our social medias through like our Facebook group Infinity and Beyond and Twitter and Instagram, sort of asking for some improvements that they'd like to see in the toy box. Now I did try and say toy box. Now I'm gonna say I probably had about two for every comment about the toy box. I had 2 comments about what playset and character they wanted to see. So I'm not going to mention those ones because I just purely want to just concentrate on the toy box. It was like you can ask any question on Disney Infinity and someone will just go playsets. That's the default.
And then you get the people that say they're done with Disney Infinity if they don't get a certain playset or character in 3.0, and it was just like, well, you're not going to please everybody.
They can legitimately be serious by saying that a toy box improvement would be playsets. Just saying.
No, it's not. We're not including that one. Right. So
yeah, I know. I'm just playing.
Yeah. Right. So let's have a look. I'm just here gonna bring up the Instagram. So we've got you want space, more characters. Right. Okay. Everyone on Instagram just wants characters: Belle and Beast, Buzz, the Fly, Big Hero 6. Okay. So that's Instagram. So let's have a look on our Facebook group and let's get a little bit of feedback first off so we can discuss about it. They want the friend zone multiplayer to make it more easier, more character merchandise, instant pixel art, and block movements. That's what Hector wanted. And I agree, block movements would be great to be able to pick up a whole load of items and move them at once, rather than trying to grab everything one by one. That's pretty annoying. Sarah said less glitching on the PlayStation. Justin wanted to see the swimming ability. That's more playset talk.
I love the lazy. Wait, say that again.
I can see the swimming ability coming into play soon.
Yeah, me too.
Finding Dory. By the time that comes in to me, that's my official guess on that one.
I'm thinking sooner. Yeah, I'm thinking Little Mermaid, just like Travis is saying. I was gonna say my favorite one was the lazy comment, which was Disney made block art you can put in your toy box.
You can love that one. That one.
Power to you, man. That was awesome.
So so Ted has got quite a few ones here. So let's run through them. He wants to be able to add voiceover work and character animations to be able to cut screens. I can't see, and I know Nick from Destination of Animation said about voices. I can't see them ever letting you record your own voice and putting it in. That would just be, you know, they don't even let you type without it being officially, let alone doing voice. But I would love to.
Copyright stuff. Yeah.
I'd love.
Not only that, Disney lawyers and offensive stuff. Watch
But
out.
I would. I really do think they need to work on getting more audio in the game. Full stop. More sound effects, and even just having like, you know, maybe having characters having like catchphrases. Maybe having 10 catchphrases each, which they can say above it. You know, have Donald Duck's doing his voice. You know, that kind of thing. To, you know, they never really went too far down that line. Got ability to modify villains' characteristics, other than making them cheer, jump, and turn around. The ability to edit background and music with ease. I think what we've got actually, using the sky domes and the boombox, seems to work perfectly to me. More complex than that. There's a lot of audio glitches. I don't know. I don't know really with the audio glitches because I never play Infinity with the music turned on due to copyright issues. So I just got used to never hearing any music. So okay, I've not mentioned Nintendo, and that's definitely out. The interior features like the piano and the pool table in the arcades make them playable. I always thought you could play them, and I've tried using them, and you can't do anything. It's like the Tron game. I thought you were going to have a mini game or something like that in there, but that doesn't seem to be in there either. Okay, some motion controlled options. Please do not bring motion control into the.
Oh God! How? It's already difficult enough to build a toy box. Imagine. It's not moving.
Are we talking about Kinect here?
Yeah, they're saying
PlayStation Move. It's like, please. You know, that was the biggest. The whole Wii was built on that con of, I get to wave something around, and everyone buys it, and then doesn't buy any more video games because they go, oh well, it's fun, but I don't want to play.
People got lazy again.
It's like when you have the PlayStation game and suddenly you're playing X-Men or something, and then it says shake the controller. I don't want to shake the controller. I just want to press a button. So no, that I personally would hate for them to introduce. And also, it's not going to go across all platforms, so it's not something I could see them do.
I had someone gift me Kinect back when I was at my old apartment, and my old apartment was too small that I couldn't get to the right length away from the Kinect, so it was pointless. So
No. We also, and this is a good one. This is one I think I mentioned before, was to have the terrain in the sky and the sky on one power disc rather than mixing it up with two. I think that would be a good.
Yeah, I mentioned that last time too. I mean, that would be a lot easier and less discs.
Yeah, but at the same time, I like the look of the terrain of, let's say, Gravity Falls, but I don't like the Sky Dome. I'd rather prefer the Sky Dome of Peter Pan.
The way I pitched it was, you have the ability, when you put the disc down, you have the ability to turn on one or the other or both.
Yeah.
And it also gives you the ability to stack another disc, because you're only limited to 3 discs. With Sky and Terrain, you're already putting down 2 discs. So
you can always take them off after you've applied them.
Yeah, but still, the fact is, like, what if you are the one that's building, a certain way, just like Travis was saying. You just want to be able to customize it a certain way. Anyways, whatever.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so let's going through. We got quite a lot of comments.
Sorry,
I'm
That's
running.
all good.
I'm avoiding any play set.
Here, I'll read one while you keep read. I went towards the bottom. I think Jay had some really good ones. And I agree with this one. Copy and paste.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes you want to actually repeat certain elements, and I completely agree with him. It's just really hard to just, if you just did, 8 of a same block, you want to be able to do it again instead of doing it one at a time. That's awesome. He also said storytelling tools, which is great. It's a great idea. Just to make it easier, like more cutscenes would be cool. Character images. Then this was kind of interesting that he said better toy box organization, which I agree with. But then he brought up the fact that what if you put down a specific toy, for example, like Woody is his example, and what if it brought up all toys that were, corresponding to Woody or Toy Story, you know what I mean? That would be kind of a cool mechanic that could work.
A cool filter?
Yeah, and then actually he listed two more things here. He said tools that allow us to detect and tailor text to specific figures.
Mm.
Okay, I'm not sure about that one. Wait.
Oh yeah, Nick's got one here from Destination. He's saying he hates it when you're trying to do a text creator and it says that it doesn't like one word and you have to retype the whole thing. It is rather annoying. The only good thing is if you go to the top corner, it tends to remember most of the words you've typed in. So it's not as bad, but it is really annoying when it doesn't like it should really default back to the original screen with your text that you had up the screen so you can edit it rather than just delete it, start again.
Yeah, but see,
when you learn a huge line and you're like, oh, really?
No, but I agree with that 100% because I submitted my villains, my Marvel villains playset, and my description said Yondu because I did not want to go all the way back because Yondu was the first word in that long sentence. Yeah. If I go all the way back, I'm not going to be able to.
I'm building like an Iron Man toy box for the start challenge at the minute. Jarvis, right? If I put Jarvis at the beginning and say Jarvis has been having this issue, works fine. When I put Jarvis halfway through the word, it got rejected. I'm going, well, you allowed it in the last 10 text messages things I've done. I'm like, what? But I do know that if you are finding like a particular character name is being blocked, if you send a tweet to Alison Pendrick on the Toybox TV. Quite often, she is able to get those words unblocked because I think they're finding they say do a Cinderella character, and all the character names are all blocked.
Yeah, that's true. I ran into that issue myself. I'm trying to remember what character it was.
But she does tend. They do seem to have quite a good success rate in getting things added or unblocked.
Yeah.
Okay, here's another one. This is Paddy. So this is one that I completely agree with. It's the bringing toys and items from the interiors into the toy box. Things like there's so many cool toys in there in the interior that have locked away because you can't get to them when you need them. It's so annoying. I'm actually doing my first interior toy box at the minute, just to try something different. And some of the toys that are in there, going, oh, I wish this was in the main one. And the themings, and if you could put them onto the walls and use them on the box arts and stuff, it would be pretty cool.
Wait. Okay, sorry.
Okay. Who
said that one?
That was Paddy Robinson.
Okay.
Okay, so you've gone through Jay's ones there.
Yeah.
Okay. So Aaron wants some ability to add graphic face to text design showing who is doing the talking. You can set it to being above. You can set it to top, where it appears above the character. That's what you can do. But yeah, I could see that.
She also said a robust, easy to use mission manager, but the one next to there, the ability to have an arrow that points to a locator. I mean, I know you have arrows that you can place everywhere, but it's kind of taking up space just to do it that way.
Yeah, trains and the ability to create rides. I think any kind of motion. I've tried using the fans, and it's really nice. It'd be great to be able to build a track into a train or something can go along it.
Well, I mean, just the rails. Like if you can actually use those rails and actually have a vehicle, you can have people ride. That would be awesome.
Do you know what? I spent about 2 to 3 hours last week with those damn rails. I was trying to create the Matterhorn for the Disney Park Challenge. And I spent hours building this toy box, and I got it all. And I was trying to get all the. I thought I'll do something different and do the rails. And I got to the end. I was trying to get it to go out of the Matterhorn, and I couldn't. I was about this far away, and no matter which way I set it to go, it just would not connect. There wasn't enough parts. So if you're this far apart, there's no way. I've tried going spinning around. I tried going all the way around. I tried all different combinations. And it's the same with the racetracks. You can sometimes you can't get the part you need because it's too small, and it is so frustrating because you're like, I just need to go this much, and you can't overlap them. That's the other thing. With a racetrack, if you've got a big racetrack and a little racetrack, if you put the big one over it, just connect them up. Make it any size, and it's the same with the rails. It's just so frustrating when you literally It's like having two power cords and they don't quite hit, and it's just like, oh, that's just so annoying. They need to have a lot more parts to it. That's my little bug that really annoyed me last week.
So that's one of your personal toy box improvements.
Yes, just more of those options. Things like racetracks and the rails. Add more to it. Smaller parts, longer parts. Okay.
Now with the rail for the Matterhorn bobsleds, do you really want to have it connected fully so you're going around in a circle? Don't you want a start point and an end point?
Sorry, what was that?
Don't you want a start point and an end point? Because if they were all connecting in a circle, it would be an endless rail. You would just keep going and going.
Yeah,
and going.
but if you can't, for example, I created a hole in the side of the Matterhorn inside of the mountain and put the rail through it, and then you got your rail coming down from the bottom to connect it, and you can't connect two rails you've put together because they just would never match. And it's like, well, and you have to basically, the only way to do it was then to take out all the side of the building to put it in. It was just getting so frustrating.
Yeah, I when I was building my rail things, I would start from one end and straight through, so I didn't have that problem, because I have run into that problem before.
But it's pretty difficult then when you've got because the problem was, because if you got a rail and you want to put like a tunnel piece, or they have to be right in the middle, and they have to be, and if you have to put the tunnel down first before you put the rail in. So it was just little things like that. There were little bugs that were just driving me up the wall, and I was like, and I abandoned the project in the end because I got that frustrated with it. Okay, so we've also got Aaron's got a few more ones here. Simple text choice for doing things like cancel to play Aladdin. Unlock toy box that are character specifically, and more and better quality music. Some of the boombox sounds like it's playing a 50-year-old AM radio. Disney has such a great and memorable music, and a terrain changer, a bit like the Sky Changer, but a bit more themed. That'd be cool. Just randomly mix things up a bit.
Yeah,
so that was... carry on, Travis.
The issue with the songs, I thought, is because of copyright.
Honestly, I feel a lot of the stuff with the music was, I don't think they put as much thought into the music as as they should have. The sound effects. I know the Toy Box artists, when they got brought in, they literally went to them and said, "Look, can you add more sounds?" And they were the ones that fought for having a lot of the sounds added to the game, so you could have the cat's meow and then a lot of default ones, but there should be more options. And I'm really hoping for 3.0 that 3.0 is that they add more than what, rather than maybe focusing on kind of a whole overhaul. Just give us, really max out a lot of the options. Give us more different sizes. Give us different options. Give us different size pieces. So it's not just this is a gram, especially the boxes for the box art that people use and for building stuff. There needs to be more different sizes, different shapes. That would make life a lot easier for a toy box, rather than focusing on making loads of new creator toys. Give us a lot more options. Give us more terrains. Give us more different style buildings.
What was that?
I don't know, I was like, woo!
Somebody vacuuming over there?
That is my computer. Apology.
This is our preview from our other webcast.
Whack it.
Is it still bad?
No, it's gone.
It's good.
It just felt like a plane had gone from my ears. But yeah, I think that was the one thing for me. I want to see more of what we've already got extended, and less focus on sort of adding, more creative toys to do stuff. To me, that's more important. What about you guys? I'll throw that over to Travis first.
Well, a lot of the stuff you guys said would be great if I had any type of ability to make a toy box. I started one and it was great, and then family issues made it so I couldn't submit it to the Aladdin one, so my Aladdin one remains unfinished. But that was my first attempt, and as great as I thought it was not nearly as complex as some of these other ones. So, like, you're saying, oh, I want this and I want that, and I'm like, I just want to be able to put logic down correctly, which I can't do. So,
just so you know, Travis, that was an awesome toy box. I got to play.
Thanks, I appreciate it. It was great, and it was gung ho, and then I got to logic, and I like hit a brick wall. I tried to put down templates, and the templates didn't work out well. And
templates are good when you're learning how to build it, but in the long run, you like I use the templates.
I'm sorry. I'm
templates correctly. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna chime in. I honestly think the logic toys are still a little too complex. I mean, I'm not gonna say I can't do it because I had to try it several times to finally get it, but I honestly think they should have not that little toy box that you had, the intro to my toy box. Yeah. They need to have like a tutorial within the game that says, you know, kind of like a step-by-step, like this logic does this, and it just shows you little images, and it does it.
Specifically with the toy box, I think they do need to add either more text to tell you how to use it, or more maybe like a little video or some kind of explanation of how to use it, because I think they only need to do that with the logic toys. They don't need to do it with everything. Just those.
Just the logic toys, I agree. But they also need to list what toys you can use with each logic toy. Because I mean, honestly, there's sometimes you can connect one logic toy to a certain toy, but then the toy can't go to another logic. I mean, it's so confusing sometimes when you want one thing to do the other. So.
One thing I'd love to see added would be like a labeling system, so you could.
Yeah.
So if I put down like a timer, a text piece, and something like that, I can put a little note on it and just say, this is for this. You know, I don't necessarily need a lot of note, but I just need to be able to write on a timer just saying, you know, door, and then I can put another time, because I could, you know, if I'm using those time delays, I might have 5 to 10 different time delays being used, and sometimes I'm like, well, I can't remember what does what, so try to put them next to each other. But a little label would be great, just to be able to, and I always find like the logic gates are the one that sort of, you know, when I'm using them, you know, I usually set it up with like a party cannon, so I know that it works before I then set it up to the real thing. And the logic gates to me are always one thing that always seems a bit too complicated without enough. And I think tutorials and a bit of information on a lot of those logic gates and logic in general would be a great help.
A couple of things that I've been wanting on this toy box, and that's since 1.0, and Aaron brought up a good one that is one of those, is in the Lone Ranger playset we had this awesome train that you could actually ride, and the track would take you certain ways because you would hit a switch and it would go to a different part of the track. And these cars actually had different weapons that you could actually change. I want train. I mean, how can you have a Disneyland toy box without your train? I mean, the fact that we had it in a playset and we don't have it as a usable thing in toy box is beyond me. And another thing,
for building all these rides, you know, like every third challenge is build something from their parks, so it makes sense to bring that in if they want to do that better.
Yeah, and the other two coincided with each other, but again, it has to do with a playset that we had ago, that it would be awesome to have the ability to do something similar in the toy box, in which is water and the freaking ships from Pirates. I mean, the fact that the mechanics where you can just, even if they brought like a miniature little boat, you know, a small little tiny boat where you can control in water, and
just go over land. We could just go over land with people.
Yeah, but I was gonna say where you can have vehicles specific to water per se, where you have cannon fire. You can have an awesome toy box game with something like that.
I think like for example the train makes more sense. I would look at it as that's easier to program in, because basically the train won't work unless the track's built like a racetrack, whereas I think having the Pirates of the Caribbean boat in would be, I can see why they didn't do that, because it was a big challenge.
Right, but what I'm saying is like you don't have to do a massive giant ship. I'm saying
Yeah.
you can do something tiny, and then just like you said, a train goes on track. Well, this boat would only operate if you laid down water pieces per
Yeah.
se, like a water
Water.
area.
Yeah, like
That's what I'm referring to.
it's a small world boat ride.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
need to
How are you
lay
gonna do
down
that?
your water track.
Yeah, I remember in 1.0, somebody built an awesome Jungle Cruise recreation of a toy box, but you only had to ride or drive a vehicle in the fake water section to get the
I
full
think
effect.
you know what I think
But
that was week
otherwise, you can't
one.
do that.
That was
Huh?
week one. That was a toy box from the very first week of Disney Infinity. That was.
Oh, okay. Well,
It was put out by Disney. But I think to me, going on forward to like 3.0 or whatever they want to call it, they've got a lot of the basics sorted now, and now they need to tweak it, need to refine it, bring more of what they've tried to introduce and do it properly. I think that would make more of a difference. It's like if they fixed all the glitches and fixed stuff. I think they need to focus. I think because 2.0 was such a huge leap forward on the toy box, they need to get it right and need to hone it and get it working properly, rather than maybe try to do another big, massive overhaul, and then
I
have
agree.
it's maybe fix it and make they've got they've had a year to kind of get the basics sorted and get and really kind of make it work better, rather than maybe having a massive overhaul like they did with to 2.0.
No, like to piggyback off of that too, like yeah, I agree. I think they should get rid of all the bugs and glitches. Like for example, Travis was talking about the logic. One of the things that frustrated me is one of my first toy boxes that I submitted, I literally had to play through it 5 different times just to make sure everything was working properly. And every time I ran through it, one of the logic things either got disconnected or didn't work, and I saved it and I made sure. And like one of the pieces that I refuse to use now is it's the themable blocks, the ones that you can change the colors and all that stuff.
Yeah.
The archway, the
Yeah.
archway always stops working on me, and I'm to the point where I never use that one again. So
Quite a
I
few.
agree. I was gonna say I agree. They need to fix a lot of the issues, especially with the logic, especially with a lot of glitches. Like another big thing is the sidekicks for me. When I play multiplayer with somebody on the survival mode, those things don't work. The sidekicks just stop working. They disappear. They fall through the wall or something like that. Or even in somebody's toy box, they'll start attacking your friend and start continuously, breaking them to the point where it gets annoying to play with them in there. I don't know,
I
there's so
do.
many things that you need to
Yeah.
fix.
I mean, they have improved quite a lot of the glitches over the last few months, but again, I don't know. I think because the toy box is so big, there's so many variables. There's so many little things, but there's sometimes it's like a toy, it just doesn't seem to work. They would have been better off like, well, that just doesn't. It's not working. We're not putting it in until it's working, rather than sort of. But then, the amount of videos and stuff I've been watching and reports about how so many of the big games over the last year, 18 months, have all just been glitchy and buggy, and there's been a real problem for video games as a whole in the last year or two, where there's been such a rush to get everything out for the release because of the money involved, that there's too many games going out with huge glitches, and it's been backfiring massively on so many of the publishers. And I
Yes.
think, I mean, I was watching a couple of videos like from Boogie622. I can't remember his exact things. I don't know if you've ever seen him.
Oh yeah, Francis. Woohoo!
Francis, I can't stand Francis. But yeah, when he's talking about like how bad some of the games have been, of how badly they've been handled, and sort of promising gamers sort of this and never delivering on it. And I think I don't think this is not just Disney and sort of all of
Oh
the
no,
companies. This is really right across the board at the minute, and I think the idea of patches has kind of allowed game companies to think, well, we just ship it and we'll fix it later. And I think it's not just Disney. I think everyone's been doing it.
no, I agree. I think it's been a huge, honestly, a video game-wide issue with glitches lately. In fact, what is it? ACU has given us like at least 2 different DLC packages for free because of it. ACU is Assassin's Creed Unity.
Yeah.
We got 2 different DLC packages that were supposed to be charged for free. I mean, just because of glitches. But no, we get it. But the fact is, it's like you said. This is all about toy box improvements, and honestly, a great improvement would be to get rid of these bugs. And like you said, don't focus on a huge overhaul, adding more. If anything, give us more toys is fine, but don't go crazy for like overhauling, more logic stuff.
But
just
also,
get it all to work.
Just having more trees, more different style trees, more different themes. When you put those toy box discs down, or those the power discs, and you get all those different terrain options, more of that. This is where I think the game. Sometimes you got the theming, and you're having to bring in different themes in different zones. I think they're going to keep adding to it, and hopefully, if they don't need to overhaul the whole game, they can spend more time focusing on the things that really kind of make more impact. It's like buildings. You can build this huge skyscraper, but there's so many big, decent toys in those playsets that never got brought into the toy box. But yeah. So Travis, you want to add anything to there, or you?
The one thing I was thinking of, toy box improvement wise, was back when they first introduced the concept of the interior and the doors. They used, I believe, Haunted Mansion as an example where you put a door on Haunted Mansion and then you could build the Haunted Mansion interior.
Yeah.
They never gave me anything inside the interior that I could create a Haunted Mansion ride. No. I was expecting, why not mechanics on the interior, like a track of some sort, or even themes? Do we have, other than the Nightmare Before Christmas theme, do we have anything Haunted Mansion themed for the interior? I mean,
I think there's wallpaper. I think that was...
Yeah, that's pretty much it, though.
Yeah, that's pretty much all you're getting. And you could maybe chuck in a few Maleficent items. I think, in general, the interior was a great idea in theory until it was tried. It didn't seem ready. It didn't. It's like a half-baked toy box. You've got...
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
It'd be, it's like, I love the idea of an interior, and I do like them, but I can't. There's not enough options in there. Sometimes you create a hall and you go into it and you can't place anything in it. You can only place decorations, and I'd love just in the toy box, just you better place a room so when you walk into it, the camera angle changes automatically, or something like that. And it feels like it should just be part of the general. Just a general toy box, just automatic. I mean, there's loading screens between toy boxes. They're just crippling. I mean, it's like nothing worse than going into an interior, and all it does is this nice, pretty room, and then you go into another toy box. It's just, to me, it's just the most frustrating, 5 minutes wasted just by doing that.
I kind of agree with Roger, though, because I do feel like it was something that was not completely executed. I think it was almost like halfway done. I had so many issues with interiors. Like I've appeared in my interior that I saved the night before, and all of my toys are halfway through the floor.
I think that's been fixed now.
No, it has not, because it happened again recently. Another one where people fall through and they're forever falling through space, which also was supposed to be a fix, and that never was fixed. But one thing that you brought up, Roger, a while ago, and I completely agree with you, which would be an amazing toy box improvement, is all the toys available in my interior should be available in toy box in general. Because, I think,
there's
I don't
so
know
many
if it was
cool
Travis, or I don't know if it was you complaining about not being able to use Jack Skellington stuff outside. Nightmare Before Christmas stuff outside to build a toy box, but everything inside is so cool.
Yeah.
You can't use that.
The other thing that's really annoying me with doing a real full interior toy box this time is hiding my logic.
Oh yeah.
I've done it before, and I've put this logic down and go, well, I can't move the logic outside the room. I've already done all my logic, so the only way I can do it is if I create some room and hide and lock the door and run between everything, unlock and set up all the logic. I'm just like, this is so hard. This is especially compared to the toy box where I build all my logic, make sure it all works, and then after I've done all that, pick it all up and go hide it somewhere, put it in a room, or hide it under the floor, or put it in a box. And then I'm walking around going, I don't want to see these logic when I'm playing. It's a real pet peeve now. I'm running around going, logic should be hidden. I don't want to see those little bases just sort of sat there on the floor, and it's really bugging me.
I also find it
And
really
here
difficult
I,
to
and
delete
here I,
a
he's worried
room.
about hiding it. Here I am, just I'll be grateful if I ever can get it to work.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say I find it really difficult to delete a room in the interior.
You have to go into Spark mode.
And I've done that too, and it's just so hard to do it. It's sometimes like, okay, if I'm building and I'm adding rooms and halls, okay, I can hit the undo. But once I've done it and I go on about my business, come back, it's really hard sometimes.
Yeah, I think the interior does need a huge. It just needs to be fixed. I think that's
huge overhaul.
it. Just and it's like if it's they've either got to add more to it, but then it just becomes then. I like the idea of it, and that's the thing that's really cool. Is I love the idea of the interior. It's just it felt like they were rushing it, and then we can't put this in from the toy box, so we're not putting any of it in, and it's like little boxes. Well, okay, so you don't want us to have huge, great big boxes or terrains. Well, you could have given us smaller boxes so we could build stuff, or I don't know. They just need to add more to it. It just felt like it wasn't ready for what it was supposed to be done.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the unreleased rooms?
Which ones were they?
Well, back when they did that, they released that Marvel toy box that unlocked the speeder.
Yeah.
They also unlocked a few interior rooms.
All right.
Oh, I've seen it. Yeah, I took a tour through your interior.
Yeah, I put them in one of my interiors just to look at them, and they're pretty cool. They're actually like rock formations. Like it's basically what the cavern is for the interior.
Yeah. I think
it's pretty cool.
I think it's one thing
Are
with
those coming out with the unlocking of all?
No.
I don't know if they got approved to be released. They were just they're still locked right now.
That toy box that got released is just one of those things. If you just you're just sort of banging your head against the thing and going, how many things got unlocked with a toy box that Disney put out? It just seems an odd. It's like a backwards way.
People are still finding stuff in that toy box that downloaded it.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, I've still got it. I need to obviously go have another look through it, but it just seems a really odd thing to have done. But I think one of the other last things before we go was, I would like, in the first game when we had every time you put down a character, especially the toy box one, you unlocked you'd unlock like 3 or 4, half a dozen toys. And I really thought, well, when we got 2.0, that was a massive a kick, because it's like I don't want a portrait and a townsperson when I put down a new character I've just paid for. Just spent 10, 12 quid on this figure, and I pop it down, and you've unlocked a townsperson, and you're like, really? Is that all I'm getting? So, you've taken away the adventure and you've taken away all the toys. It was just like, well,
Yondu doesn't even have a townsperson.
Yeah, I think he does. Does he not? I don't know. Maybe it's just one of those things of just like. It feels like they really missed. They took some of the value of those first toy box characters and removed it with 2.0, and I think that was a real shame. And I'm not opposed to them having specific unlocks that you can only get with certain toys that you can only get with a character. I think that's you want some incentive for buying those characters. You guys agree on that one?
Absolutely.
No, I agree. The mini games were fun. The finding the treasure chest, though frustrating, gave you those free things, and I agree that if you put a character down, you should get at least 1 or 2 toys for free. Maybe not even just toys, but we talk about like you have skin, you have costume changes, you have other things that could, a pack, or it could have been a bunch of stuff. I mean, they really have the ability to do anything for unlocks, and they could.
No, yeah, I remember like the vaults for the toy box only ones. You had awesome toys that you can unlock. So yeah,
I mean, I remember Wreck-It Ralph. You know, you got like 6 toys. I don't want those chests coming back; they were awful. But I just think it was something that was missed with some of those characters. Okay, anything else you guys want to add before we close off this show?
No. Yeah, I want DuckTales. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
That's it.
Woo! I'm still in the zone. I've really kind of got in this thing. DuckTales, that's like years away. I'm not even worried about it now. It's like I can't even get excited. It's like we got Age of Ultron next month. That's what I want to be talking. You know, that's what I want. You know, I want an Ultron figure. I want an Ultron figure.
Cinderella, man, come on! It's about to come out. Yo.
Frozen Fever. You know, it's like worrying about a TV show they haven't even made yet for years of time.
Well, I think Abe and I are more excited not at the, you know, we can wait for it, but the fact is that this has given us a chance, a greater chance of it actually coming reality is what drives me.
Yeah, I think if it hadn't been for the new show, we probably would never get them.
We see light at the end of the tunnel because
right, exactly. The dark tunnel has now been lit.
Yes, absolutely.
There's a torch.
And not only lit for DuckTales, but for Darkwing Duck too, which is awesome.
Right. That's the greatest thing about them being in the same universe.
Absolutely.
It brings that possibility that everyone's clamoring for.
Remember, the possibilities are infinite.
Reality.
And see, I see Tailspin also possible because of this, believe it or not.
I think we're more likely to see Jungle Book stuff because of the new Jungle Book movie next year or the year after.
That one, but we'll see.
Yeah, but if they release a Baloo character, a playable character, they could easily release a Tailspin costume disc.
Yeah, that's all they need to do. Yeah.
And if they do ever release a Cinderella figure, I just hope it's the traditional and not the eyebrows
monobrow
from the new one, because I just don't like her eyebrows.
There's the box office gone.
Anybody listening on the podcast or webcast, watch the trailers. If I am crazy, let me know. But Cinderella's eyebrows bug me. They really do. Watch the trailer. It just bothers me.
There's something else, and they had the two power discs for Marvel that they haven't talked about.
Yes.
We know that. I'm wondering if they're going to put out a second series of power discs. Maybe not right away. Maybe this summer. I could totally see Frozen Fever costume change discs for Anna and Elsa.
Oh yeah, definitely. I've got a sneaky suspicion they could be the power discs just got held up, got delayed, and they will just throw them in with the next game, or alternatively, and I'm going to throw this up there, pre-order kind of incentives for 3.0.
No,
that'll piss a lot of people off.
I don't agree. Here's something big, though. The fact is that our Hall of Superheroes have these 2 empty spots that are an eyesore, especially for the completionists. And so clearly these discs have to come out. The only way I see it not having to come out is kind of like how we were told Crystal Mickey was coming and then he didn't come, but he works on 1.0, like he actually appears. So it's like, okay, so could that be what they're doing? I hope not, because again, no. I say no. I go with Travis on more power discs possibly coming out.
Yeah, I could see them easily patching in more power discs.
I just think they're probably going to end up doing a Marvel Series 2 power discs for when the new game comes out, and they'll just slide them in them. If they've changed their plans from what they were, as long as they're out eventually. It's the fact that we haven't heard anything about these power discs since we first broke it back in September when remember Arjan got the game in the Netherlands and saw those power discs. They have never officially said a single word about those power discs in 6, 7, 8 months. That to me says signs that something's not quite gone right to it.
You know what? If I remember correctly, Mighty Jadis asked JV about these discs a while ago, and I don't know if she got an answer or maybe it was brushed off. But I also recently asked, and I still haven't gotten an answer. So honestly, I think this is something they're trying to push aside. I don't know. That's just my assumption.
The one thing that you will say is when they announced the Tron figures, they specifically said these are the last figures, and again, they're download only, but DLC, but they're the last figures for 2.0.
Yeah.
I have never heard anything about this being the definitive power discs.
No.
They did say they would release 2 waves and blind bags, but that doesn't mean they can't release more as a special set or an additional set. So. And
then maybe it's a seasonal thing, like something that Roger and I spoke about. Maybe like a holiday pack, or maybe an additional summer pack. Who knows?
Who knows? Right, I think we're pretty much going to have to wrap that one up. We've all got. I'm sure Travis is just about to drop off there.
He's about to wake up, actually.
Yes. He's going to work.
It's about time for me to get ready for work, guys.
Well, I'm literally going to be I'll be literally putting the shoes on and running out the door. So yes, thank you very much for everyone for checking out this week's show. Big thank you for Travis for staying up late and joining us on the show. It's always fun when he's on the show. But it's always great to sort of hear from him. And
that brings me.
What's that?
DuckTales. As soon as I heard DuckTales, I told you I want to be on this show so I can talk about it.
Yeah, we get new news notes, but it doesn't know. DuckTales, I'm on the show.
I'm on the show.
But yeah, so if you haven't already done so, remember to hit that like button on the YouTube video. That really helps us. If you're listening on iTunes as well, you can always give us a review there. That would be really helpful for us. And also subscribe to the YouTube channel. Check us out at DisKingdom.com, and we've got all of our social media links. We're on everything. But if you haven't already done so, remember to check us out on our Facebook group, Infinity and Beyond. Lots of discussion going over there. I think the next few months are going to be... We're all in sort of speculation mode, and I think once we start getting some news, it's when everything starts getting a lot more fun. So
celebration.
Yeah, I hope so.
Oh yeah, one more toy box improvement I forgot to mention was DuckTales.
DuckTales. On that bombshell, we're going to leave this show.
Bye, everybody. Good night.
Thank you very much. Good night.
Good night, guys.
Yeah.